All right, we are back working on Peaceful Night some more. Oh, that's gonna have echo. Let's mute that. Cool. So, pl hmm, all right. So, plan today is to add some vertical scroll and make platforms spawn vertically. I don't know if I'm gonna rework this sort of like existing platform crumble system or just leave it as like the base maybe. But I was thinking about sort of good ways for this to scale forward to be like a larger game, and I think like progressing vertically um, is more interesting than just staying in a single space and having a base platform be swapped out. Um, so yeah, if I actually launch the game here, uh, I was playing around with this, like using this the line renderer to draw lines at like right angles. See if we can get basically try and get a similar visual to what's in this asset pack. Um, and you could have like some base growing upwards like a vine or something like that. Um, and have platforms spawn off the side, and you get to increasingly treacherous areas as you go higher and higher up. So trying to think of, I'm gonna at least probably get rid of these, or at least I'll disable this last one. Just because it'd be distracting, and also it's unbound right now, so it would just be drawing ever larger lines. That might eventually be a problem if I'm testing something for a long period of time. But yeah, so I want basically an idea of just ever increasing platform height. So eventually I would want to use this nice tile map and like draw a handful of platforms, and I could also like then have children of that using like plant spawn box and then like a similar logic for animal spawn box to sort of have like a collection of like pre-made platforms that I could then randomly choose from based on how high up you are. But just to get this base system working, um, I'm just gonna grab some, you know, placeholder stuff basically, because it doesn't really matter. So I don't know if I have like just the default. Yeah, I can just use the default square. And then also need, I wonder why it's not showing. Oh, it's got a weird Z. So this needs like collision. Eventually, you probably would want to use a tile map collider, but I think you just want like a box collider with a static rigid body to be just like a platform you jump on that isn't affected by gravity. It's too high up. Also, I don't know if I'm going to do it today. I'll see how the time plays out, but I think a double jump is definitely called for. Oh, and because how the grounded system works, this platform also needs to be like, is there ground or something? World. I'm pretty sure it needs to be world to reset your jump. It's like that's basically speaking of double jump, that's what's blocking the double jump is when you go up. I don't think this collider is correct, and it's making me miss the jump. Either that or I'm just bad. No, it's correct. I'm not sure what's going on there. Let me take a closer look here. I might just not be looking at the game close enough. I'm like slipping off, I guess. But yeah, there. So now that it's marked as the ground, it like resets your jump and you can jump again. But it is, there's something weird going on there. Oh, I'm I'm dumb. It's just there's like invisible walls in this like start control screen here. That's what's blocking me. That's why it like seemed weird. Yeah, I can. Everything's better now that the game actually started. All right. So this is set up to be sort of the most basic possible platform. Um, so let's go through to make it like a prototype. Let's say something like that. Yeah, graphics, or not graphics, just prefabs. So now we just basically need a system to grow upward and eventually, uh, well, eventually nothing. Let's get grow upward. So on our world manager here, we already have platform manager, which could be confusing. It might be a good idea to go through and do like a round of renames once I'm settled on sort of how this is going to live next to the existing platform stuff, like the crumble stuff. But for now, I'll just like call platform spawner. Oh, is that going to make in the prefabs? No, just still want to move it into scripts. I think there is a platforms as well. Although maybe that just increases the likelihood for confusion between two types of platforms. I don't know. I'm gonna put it there for now. I'll remember, right? It was me who did it. So here's our platform spawner, and it's gonna need a prefab of our platform that we just made with serialized field. And that'll probably be like an array of prefabs in the future. Or I'm not too familiar with the Unity prefab variant system. That could be a potential there. Um, Although I'm not, yeah, I'd have to look into it more. Or they could be variants of the same prefab. It might get rid of some of the annoying overhead by having to like link all the prefabs. Although like annoying overhead, what, it'd take me 90 seconds. Anyway, so what does this need to do? This needs to like basically have a internal idea of a like a height, and as the height grows and grows, um, it'll spawn in platforms. So I want to just debug draw a height. Can we do debug draw line? Yeah. All right, so actually I'll put this in a function so I can maybe like easily turn it on or off in the future if I want to debug something. So I'm gonna draw height, or just to keep it clear, debug draw height. Say x bound is, I don't know, we'll go maybe, I'm not even sure what the camera is. If Hop back over to Unity. This is 4 wide, so maybe like 8, I guess. But yeah, let's say 5. 'Cause that'll be 10 if we do it on both sides. So this is gonna need private float my current height, and I'll start at, I don't know, a separate thing. Say -10 for now. And then we also need like Y speed, I guess. Or yeah, I don't know. Okay, height increase rate. Do it like relatively quick to start with to just make sure it's working. So on update, we take that height increase rate and multiply it by delta time to get like the true increase. Okay. Then we just increment our current height. What else? And then for now, debug draw. Okay. And over here, we're gonna need like points to make these lines. Negative x bound to current height. And then the other point is right. It's just the positive version of that. This doesn't need to be const because it's not, because current height is dynamic. All right. So then debug draw line from, I hope it'll just automatically up to 3. And it looks like it will. Great. So anything else I need to check here? I don't think so. I think we're good to make sure this works. I mean, let's be real, this is adding numbers. We have successfully, well, let's find out if we've successfully added numbers and drawn a line. It looks like we have. We've done it. Kind of slower than I expected. Also, it might be annoying here that it's not the game. So I think I actually want to give it some Z to make sure that it actually shows up. Let me check what like, I think it's all using sprite layers and it's all on Z equals 0. So any Z bias should be enough for it to show up on front. Still doesn't show up on top. I don't know if I need to like, maybe it only shows up in the scene view, debug draw line. I think it's fine for now. I don't want to get hung up on this, it'd be a waste of time. But if that is the case, I don't know, this doesn't do anything for me. So I'll just get rid of it. All right. So now it needs basically a way to associate with that height spawn in some platforms. So it just needs some like random parameters. Control that randomness. So I guess a min and max distance from platforms from a Y perspective. If they're half tall, they need to be at least one away, and we probably even want like a decent gap. So let's say like 2.5, and then like 6.5, maybe for the max. Can't be higher than the jump height. But if we're gonna change and add double jump, uh, that would be different. We can fix that later. And this probably will have to be made more complicated at some point. We want it to be like associated with an idea of difficulty, because the greater the distance between platforms is, the harder it is to platform. It's pretty straightforward. But we don't have to worry about that aspect right now. Let's just keep it moving. So we're gonna roll some distance once we're past. We have to see. For this starting platform, it's like, let's say 3 point, like negative 1 point. I don't want it to hit the player, so we'll say like negative 1.5, I think would be a good lowest possible place. Yeah. All right. So that's like another just constant we want to take note of. K min height, or K start spawn height. How about? It's not necessarily the same as the starting height, because this like implies there could be a point where it's growing upwards, but it's not yet at the point where it wants to spawn platforms, and that might be useful if there were effects associated with this, like for example, drawing vines or something. All right. So once the idea here is we'll roll a random number between these two, and then once the height is that amount, we can spawn it, like that delta from the previous. So, and next spawn height. Probably want to help her for that. I don't want to say set, because I feel like that has the implication that the caller would set it, where it's really like internally setting itself. So this is, we do our roll. Yeah, these two numbers. Then your next spawn height is your current spawn height, or your current height plus, well, let's get the base is m, or yeah, base height we could say is the current height is greater than this minimum start spawn height. then you can use the current height. Else you gotta use the start spawn's height. So that just takes care of the first spawn where you want like a slight delay based on how the thing is growing upwards. So then we get the next spawn height is current spawn, or not even the current, because the current is like absorbed into the base now, plus delta y. So cool, nice and simple. Then on update, if after incrementing your current height, it's greater than or equal to your next spawn height, we want to roll our initial, like the first thing to get in here. But after that, we'll have a helper to spawn that platform. So we roll random X position. So let's add that as bounds. And I can use that for my debug draw as well. And this is another instance where in the future it's gonna have to be a little bit smarter than this. It's like the further the X distance is, the harder the jump is. So it can't just be a constant number rolled completely randomly. Well, it can be, but it's better if it's not, if it is like changing a little bit over time. Don't need this anymore. So position is that X and whatever the next spawn height is, I guess. I'm wondering if for pixel reasons, it might be a good idea to, I'm just gonna add a note here. Maybe want to round this to like a quarter, the nearest quarter, or some other pixel friendly value. 'Cause sometimes it just looks a little bad. It like renders a little bit incorrectly if it's like 0.2333 or whatever, like on not neat values like that sometimes look bad, but maybe fix it once it becomes a problem. So there's our position that we can just instantiate our prefab at pause, right? No? How about now? Yeah, there you go. It's happy with that. So we spawn our platform and we roll our new one. I think that's it. Let's see. Once we hop over to Unity, we'll also need to add the link to that prefab. I forget what I put it on. And I forget what I called it. Platform spawner, I think? Or no, I need the platform prefab. What did I name that? Platform. Great stuff. All right. See if it spawns this in. So nothing below the line, just what we were hoping for. Probably should have gotten rid of the one on the main. I don't think. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think this works. But not enough height. All right. Want to get rid of this. And let's go back and make this value smaller so it's more likely we can make every jump. Because I want to add camera follow in a second next. Some will have to get the new backgrounds, or I guess I wonder if it's a good idea to. Ooh, uh, I feel like I need that initial one. It's like I can't roll from that starting point. I need that starting point. But I think that's fine. I can just tag it in this way. If I wanted to spawn at the start spawn height no matter what, we just say, okay, do this minus. Pretty dumb, but that's okay. Wait, is that correct? Yeah, so it'll just add back in delta whatever delta y I rolled, and it'll always spawn the first platform at that start spawn site. And for testing purposes, I'm going to speed this up. Oh, it's too high still. Unless, I don't know, if it seems weird that I felt like I gave it a sizable decrease, and I also felt like it was just out of reach before. I don't know, since it's random, it's hard to tell. Alright. I could see on the scene view. Alright, this just needs a tiny bit less. And I was also wondering, gotta handle the collision case, right? Because it seems like it could be I mean, like in that case where it spawned under me, that's fine. But oh wait, what's going on there? Oh, I think they're invisible walls. Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, that we proved the point. Let's get rid of this top invisible wall. I think with the way enemies knock you back, there was a possibility you could get like popped out of the ceiling that I didn't like. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. And yeah, I guess these invisible walls on the left and right are not gonna be tall enough anymore. But I don't know, I'm not super worried. I think I already have I thought I already had a way for the camera to follow. Maybe not. Oh, I think it has like a super general name where it could be used for something else, but one of the ways it's like, okay, so maybe movement QMVC is movement controller. Yeah, QMVC track target. Um, Timer index. I don't remember what that means. I guess yeah, I have no idea what that's for. I guess you can. Oh, if you want it technically a movement controller, could also be used for AI. Um, so the timer is for if you only want it to like think every so often, like not necessarily every single frame. But for this camera, we definitely want it following the player every single frame. We don't lock X or lock Y, but we would need to check really. Oh, I didn't give it a target. Yeah. There's also like a target system. Yeah, so my specific target is the player. I know this is going to need an offset too if we want it to like take up a similar portion of the screen. Oh, maybe not. Oh, and it also needs something to actually move with. Just simple translation movement I think is fine. Maybe not. I don't think our camera is doing what I expect it to. Let me see what's going wrong here. It's just that I haven't. Oh no. I don't think it's that it hasn't noticed yet. Uh, I don't think I'm gonna get it against the wind. No. What am I even checking? Oh, right, the camera follow. Why aren't you following? Roll direction on start, direction min. Do I need to lock X maybe? I don't think it should be necessary. Let's just jump off. It should, yeah, it's definitely not following me down to eternity there. So why not? Is there maybe a second camera that is the real camera? No, this is the real camera. Is it maybe not moving? Let's find out. Let's try and break in this. Okay. Attach to Unity. I'm on Unity. I would expect this to hit immediately. And it does. Yeah, you have target. Is the player at 0, 0? Wait, do you have the right target? Game. Hmm. Yeah, it's just a game object. Do you have a name? Platform target. That doesn't seem right. Wait, is this already... Oh, It's already doing this. And the second attempt isn't doing nothing. Because, like, the camera shake, that's why. So I bet if I go up... Wait, that's player stuff. But I bet if I go up... Yeah, see, it's already targeting something. And that target, it's like a dolly for, to recenter after camera shake happens. So I guess I need to instead look at the player, but I wonder if that might cause some issues. I might need to like have a two-step type thing where I just follow the player. I don't know. Let's change it and see what happens. Um, so instead of platform target, target the player instead. Yeah, okay, so it hops down to make the player centered, which is what we expect. Next, we don't want this to follow the player on the X. We're only going to go up. And then there also needs to be an offset, right? So because we want to get roughly this view as it currently is. So I think it's just this negative 2.25 on the player position. You can maybe just stop, don't lock Y. Negative 2.5 might be enough. No, that's the opposite I want. Positive 2.5. Makes sense. The thing's got to be above. Yeah, so it didn't really move at all. And then I also don't really want just your average jump to do this. So we need to turn on some amount of rubber banding and move tolerance. Let's say 3, and I need to go double check exactly what rubber banding means. I think it's good. Unclamped times rubber banding plus rubber banding times the move direction. Oh, okay. So it's just a way to. It's kind of like assuming from a. Wait, does this do anything? Oh, okay. So rubber banding would mean if you had some velocity already, it's gonna make like the velocity of this frame more important than just treating it all evenly and like adding a new batch of velocity on top. This is like a multiplier saying like, no, I want you to go more in the direction you decided to go this frame. So I don't know, let's try 1. I forget what like reasonable values are for that. So yeah, we need a little bit more move tolerance. Because we don't want the basic jump to. We don't want the basic jump to trigger it. But I don't know about the rubber banding. That looked pretty rough to me. And try reducing it. Increasing the move tolerance. And I think also slightly increasing the offset. Probably also want the direction min to be a little bit bigger. I think this just like increases the threshold to like actually have it begin thinking at all, like even considering the possibility of moving. Oh, I deleted the ceiling invisible wall while playing the game, so it didn't save. I don't really have a good way here for this to. I want to only apply move tolerance in the positive direction, basically. When I fall back down, I want it to like revert to the offset. Let me also try out a few rubber banding values here while I have a second. Oh my god, the wind's gonna knock me off. Oh, I can use this. 2. Now let's head up. Oh, there's invisible, but then we drop down. Okay, yeah, see, it's pretty slow. And the fact that we jumped off there, we should also clamp the cube. Isn't there like a clamp? MVC? MCL? Aha. Movement clamp, MCL. So I wanted to basically not go any lower than this, which I guess is just 0, 0. So to get that, let's just start making it, I don't know, 100 high, which is extent. Let's center. But then the center needs to be at 50 for it to like cap down at 0. I think I need a slower movement speed for the camera, and also this distance. I'm just gonna increase the player's jump. Q jump jump, jump force 650. That should be enough. But yeah, I think I need to reduce. See, like I don't like this. It's like kind of I think that's from rubber banding maybe. But I need this to be smoother before I proceed. I think I'm on the wrong thing. I need to be on the camera. I think maybe the fact that it's pixel perfect is a little bit of what makes it snappy. What if I turn that off? No, I don't think so. Because it's snapping to like, you know, the snapping should only be minor that you wouldn't notice it too much. But I'm definitely noticing it just like jumping up, right? So let's pause. Not you. All right. What do I want to change here? Reduce the rubber banding and reduce the movement speed. Yeah, that's a bit smoother. Oh, but then you don't fall, it doesn't fall with you fast enough. Do I have a velocity cap on the player? It seems like a good idea. I don't want him like just accruing fall of gravity forever. There is a velocity cap. What is it? It's just, why is this not serialized? Serialize, so I can actually set it in editor. I might not have known whenever I made this. It was a long time ago. And then, I don't know, lower than 30. And then, yeah, we're gonna try on the camera the same amount of, or same move speed reduction, but only a slighter reduction in rubber banding. Oh, and I have to increase the tolerance as well from the increase in jump force. Although I wonder if this is gonna have like bad consequences for falling and stuff. Yeah, it might be, the play here might just be to add the different concept between yeah, dude, I think this platform seems impossible. So I need that double jump. I need that flexibility. No, I might already have double jump built in. Let's see. Dang. Nope. It's not that. It's like on. It would be the grounded stuff, maybe? Q jump grounded. Subcircles. No, this is just for checking grounded. So if I go to jump, require grounded, I would basically need to change that too. Only require grounded after you use up some amount of jumps. Do I just want to do that now? I think so. Also, so I don't forget while it's on the top of my mind, let's disable this ceiling. All right, let's go back to our jump. So here on require grounded, we just add a new thing that is int m allowed jumps, default to 1, which keeps it as the same behavior as it is. And we'll also need a counter. Yeah, so now where we would require you to be grounded, we also can say if my jump counter is greater or is less than my allowed jumps. Add force on jump, so people can subscribe to that if they want. It's like fall stuff. I don't think this matters because you still want to be falling. So here when the jump happens, we need to increase our jump counter. And if you're not grounded, if you are grounded, your jump counter goes to 0. And then, well, actually, I'll just do that on land. That's what on land is for. Okay. So now, in theory, I can just set this jump counter to 2, and we get the same behavior as before. Wait. I need to, this isn't giving me the same behavior as before, because it would allow, if you fell, like you didn't jump, you fell, but then you aren't grounded, and it requires grounded, then it wouldn't be the same thing. It wouldn't, it would let you mid-air jump where that wouldn't have been my intention before. So I think I should just separate these as different things. I can even maybe assert like my intention there. Do I have assertions in here? Yeah, I should. Assert dot basically is, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what the cleverest way to encode the assert is, where I can just say like is true and describe the thing, which means here if jump counter is less than or yeah, is equal to 1, less than or equal to 1, and require grounded, or not and require grounded. So this basically just says you set a jump counter greater than 1, then like that's what's controlling the jump, not groundedness. So this not require grounded will always be true in the case where your jump counter matters. So we need not require grounded, and well, let me think about this. Let's just split it up. Grounded allows jump allowed grounded equals this. And jump allowed counter means jump count, or my jump, what did I, oh, my allowed jump is greater than 1. And in fact, let's also assert that. Well, no, I don't think I need to. I don't think that solves anything. My allowed jump's greater than 1, and my jump counter is less than my allowed jumps. And this is not necessary. Okay. So I think if either of these are true, we should be good. My concern before was if allowed jumps were 1, then it would always be true, even though we don't intend to use that mechanism. So we can just say or now. And we just still increment in both cases and set to 0 in both cases, because like it's, you know, nothing to increment a number. So let's just load up the game, make sure it doesn't assert automatically. Man, I definitely do not like the, I gotta fine tune that camera logic. It's good enough for now, but anyway. So yeah, nothing asserted or anything like that, but do need to actually give him more jumps. Okay, definitely not working. But why? So, looking back over at the code here, my jump counter does increase. So I don't know why. Well, let's just look at it. Maybe it is constantly being reset back to 0 incorrectly. Oops, didn't attach. And get rid of this other breakpoints. Okay. Oh, it's gonna be annoying to. I need to basically do a bunch of jumps. And then as I'm falling, add the breakpoint to the real game. Jump counter's 30. How'd I get in here? Oh, well, first of all, yeah, this now it's wrong in the other direction. The or is wrong in the other direction. It's always true for the not grounded case. I think this approach, this was not a good idea to make them mutually exclusive. I think require grounded can just mean require grounded for the first jump. And then we can leave this as a thing that must be true. You can say jump allowed grounded is require grounded. Okay, either you don't need to be grounded, or you're grounded, or something else. And that something else is if you have like multi-jump. If you're allowed more than one jump and your jump counter, and it's not really just grounded anymore, it's just jump allowed. So either you don't need to be grounded, or you're grounded. And this also, this needs to, you don't need to be grounded, and your allowed jumps. Right, I can't get through on just you don't need to be grounded. Man, I don't know what this check is like breaking my brain when it shouldn't at all. Let's see. So you can say, yeah, I think it just needs to be separated apart, but separated apart was correct, but we need and, not or. And it needs to work in the case where if that thing is turned off, it doesn't break the and. So so the jump is allowed from a grounded perspective if you don't need to be grounded or you are grounded. Or this does still need to care about the other thing. So, or the specific case where your jump counter is greater than 0, your allowed jumps is greater than your 1, and your jump count is greater than 0, which is basically saying this is just, you don't need to care about grounded because this is a multi-jump. But jump counter greater than 0 excludes the first jump, which would still respect grounded if it needs to. So and then the jump allowed, I'll say counter, is just your jump counter is less than your allowed, or just your jump counter is less than your allowed jumps. And those two things is the check. What's that? Oh, I accidentally popped out the game. Go back. There we go. All right. Got some double jump. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Nope. Can still infinite jump. Why is that? Cause I copy pasted. It was grounded or grounded and grounded. And since he's in his multi-jump, he passed the grounded check. Aha! Only 2. Might I think at a future time I would like dedicated to this. I would want to like really fine tune the jump here. I noticed that if you wait till like your descent, yeah, like right there, I waited till, oh man, I waited till my descent and I barely, like the additional force was barely anything. So I think it might need a concept of like both a minimum force, so that doesn't happen. Like it can offset some amount of downward force. Uh, like I feel like you should, regardless of how fast you're falling down, you should be able to have some amount of upward movement from invoking your double jump. Um, and then also maybe there should be a band in the other direction as well. You know, so you can't if you immediately double jump, like bam bam, it gets like you get pretty high. Actually, I think if I do, that's the best is you do like halfway through while still on your ascent and then hold the second jump. Sorry, I'm getting distracted just double jumping. All right. So, yeah, I mean, maybe I can try and add those clampy things. Here, I don't think they'd be that difficult. If I say private float min net jump force as to a default value of your jump force times half. Are you allowed to do that? Probably not. I think it has to be like a const. Yeah, I can't reference a non-static, non-const. I can set the default to half. I'll just have to remember. And this is like not the most obvious things. So I should take a note here. And then the other side of it is here for multi-jump, make sure at upward force is at most this much regardless of how much already going from previous jumps. And we can do that at like 1.5, I think. So that would be 600 by default. So here we do whatever, except here where the force is added. If my jump counter is greater than 1, indicating it's like a multi-jump, we'll have to get, let's save force in a vocal. So if we're in a multi-jump, we have to get our current force. And rigid body, oh, it's annoying. I don't think I can just get my force. I can get my velocity. Get force? Force? I had a feeling. That's the annoying part about. I guess it's just velocity. Can I get acceleration as well? How do I go from velocity to force? I hate that I have to I want like physicsy movement, but I don't want to have to like set weights on my objects. I guess that's a dumb thing to say, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see. What's the best way to deal with this? The fact that the jump force, do I know gravity? Physics 2D? Yeah. Okay, so I know gravity. I know velocity. Do I know mass? I guess it's just in rigid body mass. All right. So G. I don't think that's what G-force. Is that what G-force means? Why don't you like this? I think I can just say gravity.y. I don't have any plans on messing around with that. Although, like, technically, if you wanted, like, to be able to redirect the flow of gravity at some point, have that be a game mechanic of some kind, this would be a bad assumption. But I think gravity.y is fine to move forward with for now. So that's what I'm, so that's the amount of, that's mass times acceleration on my player. And I can get my current velocity. Is 470 additional information here? So bad at this physics math. But so if my velocity is currently going up, then I guess I need to know what my jump acceleration would be. Right? I think I just want to maybe just rework this in terms of velocity. I guess if I get it's difficult to know my exact acceleration, I feel like. Yeah. Like I would have to store I guess I have to store my previous velocity every frame. So yeah, if I store my previous velocity, I can get my current net acceleration, right? So let me write this down. Store previous velocity, use to get current net acceleration. So once I have my net acceleration, I know how much acceleration I need to add to get to an equivalent of a jump force equal to the thing in the parameter, right? So say like a current is change in velocity over change in time. V minus, let's say XL equals L minus PrevL time dot fixed delta time, if I'm just storing it in the update. Then we have our current net acceleration, so then we can also know our target acceleration is equal to the grounded force, sort of like it, as if you were grounded, whatever multiple of whatever multiple of your velocity needs to be. So if I say like my jump acceleration is jump force equals mass times accel. So therefore jump accel is equal to jump force over mass. So we can then get jump accel max and min. And then just clamp, I guess. Yeah. Let's try it. Previous velocity y. Just start 0. And then every fixed update. This is like, oh, I'm applying my own gravity, potentially. So I'm getting a delta. I already know my chance. I'm already getting it. Right? Delta velocity is, in fact. So if you're not, delta velocity is acceleration. And then, but if we're not, this is if we're not grounded. If we are grounded, we can just say my acceleration y is just 0. I don't think there's a problem with that. Cannot, oh. Okay. There's our acceleration y. Now, up here, oh wait, is this gravity dt? Yeah, it already is scaled by time delta time. Cool. So my jump acceleration is equal to jump force divided by fixed delta time, right? No. Jump acceleration the other way, or by mass. Jump force over mass. And then no, I don't know if this is correct. Because I think this is just for the fall multiplier. It's not necessarily including just like the physics default gravity, like the unity default physics gravity. So we actually do need to do it. I mean, like this is helpful, I believe, but is it helpful or does it make it? No. Yeah. This is just applying extra gravity basically. So let's just get previous velocity. I'll just save it in late update. I don't know if that's necessarily required, but I think it will help me. It simplifies thinking about it. I don't have to worry about stressing over the order or the order being ambiguous. Like it makes the order explicit, where we're going to grab the velocity at the end of the frame. Okay. And then we don't need to do it here. Now, on our next frame, we do need to store our find our acceleration. Current acceleration equals rigid body dot velocity minus m previous velocity y dot y divided by time dot fixed delta time. Okay. If I bump this to the next line, does it look nicer? Yeah. So we know our jump acceleration, and then we can also know our max and min. Technically, this could be const, I think, because the mass, I don't expect mass to change, but I can fix that later. Min at jump force. And then the same deal for the max. Stop it. And now, so we have our min, we have our max. We need to get our jump acceleration to at least those numbers, or at most those numbers. You know, since it's all divided by mass, I wonder if I can get rid of caring about that. Well, no, because Unity's physics system cares about it. So we have our current acceleration, and we have where we want to, I guess we would check, do these things just add together? I think so, right? So if current acceleration plus jump acceleration is basically, if it's within the bounds, we're fine. If not, we have to figure out a different jump force. So I think I can just branch it. So if the current acceleration, well, new acceleration is the current plus the jump. And then if the new is greater than the max, reduce force, or is less than the min, increase the force. But by how much? Oh, and also the else case, we just assign our normal jump force to that y force local. That means we're within the bounds, or we will be within the bounds after we add the forces together, like the result will be. So we don't need to care. It's only these two cases where we need to do some other, calculation for the force. Let's think about what that is. We have our current acceleration. So I guess in both cases, let's get the delta acceleration. Is the Hmm. It's just the jump acceleration if I were to just subtract it from the new. But yeah, we actually want it from we want whatever the max is minus what the current is. Like how much acceleration will get me to the max. That makes sense, yeah. And in this case, it's how much will get me to the min. But the min is still gonna, so the min is gonna be bigger. I'm just trying to think in terms of like negatives. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's just the same thing. It's how much do I need to get to the min? If we're currently at a negative, that's minus a negative, it'll be a bigger positive number. And then the force is just that delta acceleration times the mass. All right, so if we're on a multi-jump, then I don't need this g-force. We get our current acceleration, and we get how much acceleration is represented by a typical jump, and how much acceleration is represented by our min and max bounds. And then what our new acceleration would be with the default amount. And if it's beyond the bounds in either direction, we adjust to hit the bounds. Otherwise, or if we're not even multi-jumping, just use the normal jump force, which is stored in y force. All right, let's see. So the two cases we're looking to solve there is where if you jump at a low point in your jump, it will have barely any lift because you have so much gravity on you. And if you jump it up immediately, you have too much lift because you're still riding the lift from your previous jump. I'm not sure. Oh, you know what? I need to set the values. The default values aren't going to be correct because the player has different default values. I should collapse these that I don't need. Spin on collision? Oh, spawn. Yeah, the movement's at the very top. I'm just taking the time to collapse all these. Wow, it's a very composited player. Let's put our jump force back to 500 since we have a double jump now. And that means we probably do like a 250, 750. That seems fine. I'm not, I don't know. Doesn't look right. Let me debug print some stuff. Reducing force to just like make sure sane values are coming out here. Doesn't seem like it's getting, yeah, I'm not seeing my debug log, which means it's not getting activated. Might mean is maybe our previous velocity stuff. So I'm gonna, see, like that's terrible. That's exactly what I wanted to avoid. I feel like I made it worse. So we got to debug. I'm gonna jump off and then pause and then set up the breakpoint. So I should have some fall velocity here. Yeah, I mean, negative 3.8 seems right. Continue. Negative 6.7, sure. I mean, these previous velocity values seems fine. Let's re-pause, can I? To unbreak and continue, then pause unity. Now break here and unpause again. Do my jump. All right. So my jump counter is 2, correct. My current acceleration is at negative 25. Suspicious. Let's see. Negative 6. Oh, that seems right-ish. The jump acceleration will be 500. Oh, this needs to be timed out the time. I don't understand how that's leading to the problem, but oh, because it's never going to be. Wait. Oh, yeah. This is time delta time. None of these are time delta time. So do that. Oh, and fix delta time as well. I don't think this is right either. Oh, because then I need to go out of time delta time for when I add the force. Okay. Right, I think. That at least like makes the units consistent. I have a typo somewhere. Oh, that's not right. Maybe it'd be fun, but definitely something incorrect here. I think I just gotta step through. See what's happening to the numbers. I know I'm not supposed to divide, so I could just get rid of that, but I'm just gonna step through anyway to get an idea of, what's happening to the numbers over time. So I get, figure what's wrong. Okay. Our current acceleration is negative? This Is this already times time delta time maybe? No, I don't think I'm moving. This seems wrong. I don't know if this is supposed to be, since it's a fixed delta time. What if I didn't divide there? It would be not times 100. But I think that's the units I would expect. Jump acceleration is 10. 500. So the implication here is if the jump acceleration is 10, I don't think this is correct. I think velocity. Yeah, this needs to be times, I believe. Because I don't know if I can articulate why, but is that it? Yeah, that seems right. Well, no. Now it's just not. Now it's back to the previous behavior where it's not detecting anything. It's probably because it's getting to be too low. I guess it is supposed to be divided, right? It'd be the change in velocity over the change in time. Maybe this is supposed to. So my acceleration is my force over my mass. That tracks. But do I need to do this? Not sure. Maybe I don't apply it here. 'Cause the force isn't really being applied over time, I think. And wait, yeah, yes. Is this? I don't. What does it look like if I don't do any time delta time stuff here? Does it give them too big or too small? Nothing gets caught, so it is outside of the range. Yeah, you breaking? It's thinking about breaking. So this would tell me my current acceleration is negative 114. A jump would give me 500. That seems. These numbers seem reasonable. So that would be 385, which is just enough. So I can just jump. Maybe the numbers need to be more strict. Hmm. I don't know. I know it's not triggering because I'm not getting my debug printing. Let's see if I can create like the most extreme situation, which would be a long fall. Yeah, I don't know. Something's definitely wrong. Let me get that same breakpoint where it only trigger on the multi-jump. I think the answer here is I can't add acceleration like this. What if my current acceleration negative 44? Yeah, I'm just like missing some base information about, I think somewhere of time being applied and somewhere it's not. It seems like these are not in like the same units. But this is the change in velocity over the change in time, which, if I understand correctly, should be our acceleration. But I guess this is already time like adjusted. Maybe this does need to be time adjusted. We know the fixed delta time would be 2/100ths or 1 over 50. So 10. I don't know. Let me see what kind of behavior I get. Because this is still, it's per second in the form of force. So that's why I wanted to divide here. But let's see what numbers we get. Okay, so that was like sort of a normal mid double jump. Got negative 29 acceleration. What happens if I do that? Increase the force, but to like a negligible amount, right? Yeah. So it would have to be, I do think it is this. I'm not sure what I'm missing about it. Because we're going out of, this sort of goes out of our 500 into our per second, and this goes back into 500. So this definitely needs to be divided. Because the final y force value should be close-ish to our jump force. So why are we getting to like 6,000, right? Yeah, see to 4,800. So what? I guess the jump, no, these should be in the same units. Right? Let me click through here, see if I understand. So this would be increasing force is what's always happening. Oops, died. Okay, so our new acceleration would be, I think this isn't jump acceleration is the problem. Yeah, my current acceleration and my jump acceleration aren't in the same units. And it seems like it's just straight adding force. Let me check the documentation on adding force. Oh, I think There's something about like impulse. So input get on add force. I don't see myself setting a force mode, but I guess it would be on the rigid body, maybe. Um, movement, left stick, no, no, no. So I have platform movement. Yeah, this isn't, I don't think this is doing anything that's, I mean, I guess it has a target velocity, but I don't think this is getting invoked in the jump case. Um, I'm misunderstanding something about this jump. Or maybe my calculation acceleration is wrong, but isn't it just delta velocity? Yeah, delta velocity over delta time, that's what this is. Be quiet. So, oh, I think late update, I think this needs to be in fixed update. What if late update and fixed update are not the same? Because there could potentially be many late updates per fixed update, and then using the delta time per fixed update is not correct. That doesn't seem to be the problem though. I mean, the values are slightly more reasonable now, but they're still out of the range I would want them to be. So I guess even in the case where I'm currently moving up, it seems like I'm increasing velocity. So it's always increasing velocity. I don't understand why we're not. Let's just print out the previous velocity we're saving because it should be positive in some cases. Let's only print it out if it's positive. So we would expect here when we jump, we should see some positive velocity being reported here. Yes, we have like some, yeah. So we briefly have some vertical velocity here. Maybe it, well, no, because we should be getting the max at most, right? So maybe this, I think the min needs to be lower. But again, it doesn't make sense to me unless we're in different like sort of systems of units here. I don't know, here I'm gonna take 30 seconds here to fill up my water bottle. I'll be right back and think on this and stop. Hopefully I can stop stumbling on this simple physics. Yeah, so I'll be right back like a minute here. All right. Let's got some water here. Let's take a fresh, hydrated look at this. I think let's see. I think mass is a red herring because I'm pretty sure it's always one. So it's just nothing is happening. So let's not think about that. The question is just sort of units. Oh, I guess by dividing this by fixed delta time, we are getting out of per second, right? Times fixed delta time puts us into per second, or puts us into per frame out of. So this is from per frame into per second. So our current acceleration is per second. Whereas this is per frame. That's the problem. So I think if this is current acceleration per second, then that jump without multiplying by this. Now everything is still in per second, and we don't need this division at the end either, because we're all already in per second, which is what everything is expecting. Is that right? That looks pretty right to me. This looks like the behavior I was hoping for. Up, up. Ah, not really. See, we're still getting like no verticality there. I think we're, let me get rid of the spamming of previous velocity. Although, seeing these numbers going to like 10 at the highest does make me suspicious. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna step it through. Oh, oops. I know this is some stupid mistake, but it's okay, because being stupid is part of it. So, my rigid body's velocity, -3 per second. That seems like a per second thing. I think this is per second, so it's already per second without this division. Right, yeah, velocity, if anything, I would want to put it into per frame. Wait, doesn't it need to be over the change in time? What if it weren't? So we have -3 minus -2. It would be like 5-ish instead of -13. I don't want to just like flip things and see if it works. I want to try and like understand what I'm missing here. See, like these definitely aren't the same. So this is per second. This is also per second, I think. But this would be yeah, I guess yeah, they're not in the same. The little like -13 is never gonna affect this. I think, what if I just have everything in per frame? Or, oh, I feel so dumb. So, yeah, I think this is per second, and then the jump force should be per second as well. Even just like from like a mathematical perspective, I don't get what I'm doing wrong. Forget like the physics. I'm trying to like go in and out of a set of numbers. It doesn't even matter that it represents like gravity and acceleration and physics and stuff. This number should be in like roughly the same space. I feel like it might be, it's like almost giving up if I were just to switch it to velocity. But I guess it's the same idea if I'm caring about the force at the point of when I do that first jump when I'm grounded. Like that first frame of, if that first frame of acceleration is what I'm caring about anyway, that would be my y velocity from being at rest. So, because I want to see if I can not care about this previous and like not like just deal with velocities. Let's not deal with your current acceleration. Let's instead deal with your current velocity y. Okay, so we know our current velocity y. And we know how much velocity would be added from a jump at rest, which would be jump velocity would add it's not the full 500. No, so it's just the jump force. It's this, but put into time instead of second. Like put into frame time instead of second time. I think. I think I'm just like, in terms of like lining up these numbers in roughly the same. Because if jump force is in seconds, that makes sense. Now this is supposed to be in units per second though. I don't know. Let's see if this pops out. This is, I feel like, just kind of guessing and checking, but I don't know. I'm curious to see what numbers pop out here if this is like. So this is, well, no, this makes sense because jump force, this gives a jumped acceleration, and then multiplied by time dot delta time is velocity, right? It would be the change in acceleration. This frame, or the change in velocity of this frame. I think this would also have to be in time delta time, but I think that that's what like puts them out of matching units. I don't know. Let's do something that seems to make sense, and then if the numbers aren't lining up, we can investigate further. So the new velocity is current velocity y plus jump velocity. And then if your jump new velocity but here we would need to go back into per seconds. And these should all be fixed. So yeah, change. I think it might be the case that this only works because mass is 1, though. I think it might break if I try different masses. Yeah, good call. That's fair, compiler. I'll give you that one. That does not compile, so I renamed everything to velocity. Oops. No, that isn't it. Well, actually it is. That is going down. Oh, I get it now. I'm reducing the jump force to 750, but that means more jump force than normal. I should only be able to add up there, right? Let's double check the numbers. I think we're in the realm of correct, but the reduction is incorrect because it's reducing the force to the max rather than the resulting number to the max. Right, like it's telling me the force it's applying is like in the 750s, which is around the max. So our jump velocity, 15 seems fine, and we have it to be, it needs to be between, or 5 and, so this won't actually trigger. Um, I need a better example. So, okay, here's a good example. We would be 18, which is over 15. And this needs to be, yeah, this needs to not be 15. This needs to be like 3. Or wait, no. Jump velocity max. What am I missing here? How is this? Oh, I think I'm comparing the wrong things, maybe? This is this delta is how much velocity I need to get to the max in theory, right? But I don't think that's like this seems wrong. I think this check is not correct for the reduction case. Because like this, I guess it's like, yeah, if you would go over current velocity y plus some jump velocity, which we know is like 18, would be greater than the max. But at the same time, I don't understand why I'm triggering. I shouldn't be triggering the max case if I'm going down. Right, how is my mass isn't changing, right? It's always one. Oh, I missed a fixed delta time. That's why it's off. I still think this might need to be tweaked, but that's at least an obvious error to fix. That was a normal jump. Yeah, now I'm just like not really triggering it. Huh. Wait, multiplying by fixed delta? Seems like I broke it. Like it's, yeah, because it's not printing, so it's like never triggering again. I don't understand how I broke it. Is really the time from fixed delta time to delta time is the difference? Does do jump get called from a yeah, it does get. Oh, I guess I don't know if gets called from a fixed context or not. Jump velocity of 10. So the saying I want. Yeah, it doesn't really. Not triggering here. I need to set up a more extreme case. That did not break. Try again. So the idea here is I need a large fall distance. Every time I double jump, it's gonna break, which is annoying. Oh man, huh? Get me up here. Let me just restart. All right, there we go. This is good enough. Oh, I guess it won't count if I'm falling. Technically, I'm not even. It won't even let me jump if I just fall. Which seems like it shouldn't be the case. That seems like it feels weird. Yeah, let's get rid of this break. Climb really high. Climbing up. Man, double jump. It's weird how. Ugh. See, that double jump was crap though. I was about to say how much better double jump feels compared to a single jump. You just feel like you have so much more control. Probably want the particles to change. Because like it was supposed to be like dirt, but it's not dirt. It would be like pink or something. Anyway, let's re-add my breakpoint. And then I want like some really extreme negative velocity to hopefully see the cap applied. So I have to do the first jump, then let myself fall a while, and then do the second jump when I've fallen on. I should have some serious negative velocity. All right. Yeah, negative 25, pretty significant. Okay. This seems wrong. I'm only going down half a unit, but I would get 10 from a jump. That doesn't seem right. Does this? Oh, because it was an accelerator. Don't I need fixed delta time squared, right? This is acceleration. So it's telling me how much it'll change its velocity in a second, and then I need to do it again to tell me what the velocity is this frame. Yeah, it seemed like that 10, if I'm like falling really hard and I'm at negative 25, being cut down to negative 0.5, then like the standard velocity being 10 is not correct. I think it's the case that standard velocity acceleration. Oh no, I got trapped. That's what I wanted to avoid. Let's set up a similar scenario. I don't know if I need to break. I think it'll be. Yeah, it seems like it maybe did it. It's being triggered, but it doesn't seem like it's a significant enough effect. If I fall up, yeah, see, I'm still falling to the ground. So maybe I need to. Oh wait, increasing force to like 20. That doesn't seem right. Oh, but again, if I'm in truly, I need to. Yeah, it's another acceleration versus velocity thing. So this is truly velocity now. My current velocity y and my jump velocity. All right, I'm only dealing with velocity, so this is also a velocity. Then the delta velocity, these are all still correct, except this now needs to be delta velocity divided by time delta time, and then multiply by mass, and then divide again. So this first, that puts it into acceleration, I think, and then this puts it into acceleration like per second for the concept for the force equation, I think. Let's see how this pops out. I think this is correct. We have like finally stumbled. This reminds me of last Wednesday where I just like stumbled through every possible permutation of doing it wrong. That the only the only combination of factors left here is doing it right. That looks right to me. Well, that's not significant. I didn't see the debug, so didn't happen. Don't want to get a false positive. Oh, that. Yeah, I mean, well, now I'm not. No, now we're going out of the bounds again. Something's still wrong with this. Oh, wait. It's not this, is it? It could be. Small. It would only be a small imperfection. Like a point. I saw 0.0325. But if the fixed delta time is 0.02, then, that's over 50%, which would give us those, like, increases in the thousands that we're seeing. No, 986 still seems wrong. Oh, wait, no, could be 980. It could be 1,000. I was thinking about it wrong because it would need to be 1,000. In the increase case, it's significantly negative, and so it needs to be increased like beyond what we would expect to offset the negative, and it could be beyond 1,000. So the increase has nothing to do with like the 750. I think I need to increase the min though to some smaller percentage. God, the platform trying to throw you off when it's like the base underneath that you're jumping and stuff is killing me. But let's. I think the numbers at least like seem correct now and how the numbers are being adjusted, but I think maybe the um like the bounds are not significant enough. So I would want to sort of narrow them down to be closer to the default jump amount. So I want to find my jump. Instead of 250, 750, maybe like 400, 600. So there might be some difference, but like in general, your jump should be roughly the same. Like it's within. Yeah, I think this is good, yeah. I don't know, I'm just gonna jump a while. I'm gonna jump up until I think I actually want a slight amount, just like sort of unrelated, a slight amount more of base. We can slightly reduce the fall multipliers. What is the low jump multiplier? Let me double check what that means. If you use low jump multiplier and holding jump, oh, so that's basically lets you cancel jump quickly. I think I should maybe I just need to. Oh, it's basically if you're holding jump, it lets you experience a lesser form of gravity. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're in a pretty good spot. Just to, in the sort of realm of giving you more control, or like more sort of standardization type here. I think that's right? Plus 150, plus 150, yeah. Seems good. Yeah, I wanna one last tweak while I'm just in the doing tweaks. I think the low jump multiplier should be much smaller. I like the idea. It does make it feel better if you can like do your little hops. Like, I guess the problem is this, my system prevents those little hops. Well, does it? Nah. I feel like I have good control. All right, there are invisible walls here. Yeah, no, I'm gonna jump around a bit. Yeah, I think the low jump multiplier actually needs to be more significant. I was underestimating how nice it actually was doing a lot to make the jumping feel good. Yeah, I feel like I can do big jumps if I want. I can do a little hop. I guess like sometimes when I'm trying to do a little hop, I'm getting accelerated a bit more than I expect. So let's try like catching myself from a fall. Yeah, it seems pretty nice there. I think I also need to increase the camera speed. Um, I don't want the camera to ever potentially lose track of the player. We can increase rubber banding to help a little bit more on that too, I think, because then as the distance increases, the move speed will increase. Uh, this is good. Yeah, I think I might, as one last chance, I might need to increase the min because it's kind of I feel like it's messing with my low jump multiplier sometimes, where I tend to do those little hops like bam bam, like right there. I mean, there it worked, but sometimes, every once in a while, it's propelling me upwards when I don't really want it to. I think these platforms also with this like increased jump ability, we can probably have, let's, since I'm trying out how like feel and stuff, I can update my platform spawner here to have a bit more distance. I remember earlier in the nights we had to increase the distance or decrease the distance because we just couldn't make the jump sometimes. But now we got double jump. I keep hitting my head basically. I feel like it's reducing my jump experience. Ah. So let's get up a little bit. Ah. That's pretty high. I can make it though. Yeah. I feel like I have good control over how high I jump. Except sometimes when I feel like it's overcorrecting a bit too much. So I think I will narrow that correction range. But then also let's try our big fall here. Just want to make sure the scale is at 1, so it's an accurate representation of the camera. Yeah, I need more rubber banding. Maybe just less move tolerance, get it moving more quickly. Yeah, it'll go up immediately when you jump, but I think that's fine. I mean, if I really care about it, I can like add a little helper script that um prevents moving the camera until I could do it when the height bar is like above the camera. That's when the camera is actually allowed to start moving. Because I did imagine it being like a little bit of a starting tutorial-y type feel until we start going vertical. Like we keep some of the existent, like just stay on the platform type feel until some like you pass some threshold and then you can start climbing vertical into like more difficult stuff. So yeah, what do we say we do? We want to narrow our like this is basically jump rubber banding. But yeah, let's narrow it down to plus 75 and maybe slightly reduce this. This camera looks bad again. I think there's too much rubber banding. Unfortunate, because we're almost there. We're getting close. Getting close. I think the step here is camera speed up, rubber banding down. And then also, I don't really care about the player's fall speed. Um, in terms of like accurately reflecting gravity. Other than the like second or two after you jump. So we're gonna try increase move speed, reduce rubber banding, and then also reduce the player's velocity cap. I think it's at 25 right now, maybe 20. I definitely do not. I don't know why it's. I'm not sure why it's like so griddish. I think it's a function of like the rubber banding activating. So maybe it does need to be kept like low, like below 0.5. Maybe some move speed? Just like able to move too much? I don't know. Let's try reducing this. Yeah, it's the too much rubber banding is what was making it look like clunky. All right, yeah, I like this follow. Yeah, jump feels good. But how about falling? Does it connect? No, yeah. The combination. Yeah, see, I can't. I think what really needs to happen here is, and this would also fix like the initial movement tolerance, is I need like either a secondary controller that like says, hey, you can never ever fall below this offset. Do I already have that? I might. I can't clamp, but offset maybe, or Q movement controller. What do we got? We got bounce, chase, range maintain. Can I think this might work. What a not 59. I hope this is only XY. If it's Z, it's not gonna work. All right, so the follow still takes over first. Maybe 10 is too much and it never falls 10. What if I make it smaller? Well, actually, on our camera, our follow boy here is trying to follow at 2.6 and we'll begin moving at 3.5. So it should really just be slightly beyond that. We, like, yeah, move smoothly if you can, but you gotta, main thing, keep the player on the screen. So, trying to think. I don't know if I'm trying to think if there's like a good math number based on that other than just greater than, greater than 3.5, slightly greater than 3.5. Like maybe like half the offset, we could say. If we do half the offset, that puts it at 4.8. I don't know, see that. Oh, but I guess, oh, it's annoying because it can be off by the center. It's going to be, even if it's only Y, even if it's only 2D, I mean, it definitely will be counting X. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. I can see it like kind of locking a little bit if I go quick. Can I go quick? Yeah. I'm going faster than the thing is growing, so I'm gonna run out of platforms. I don't know if it's. I'm looking at the scene view. It's not clear to me if it's working. If I significantly reduce the range, see if that made a difference. No, this is okay. It's just the controller. It's never gonna. It never moves faster than its movement speed. So it's basically just doing the same as the targeting stuff. So it just needs more speed. Oh, yeah, I don't have the tech right now, but I feel like the next addition here is I need separate. I need like move speed in a particular direction because basically I just want the fall movement speed to. I don't like how like quickly it's moving up here. because it makes it like a rougher camera follow. It doesn't look as nice, it doesn't look as smooth, but if you fall off, it can keep up. So the basic problem there is I want to have a different up speed than down speed. I want it to be able to follow you down very quickly, but only inch up slowly as appropriate. Because I think here I can actually show it. It'll update in real time. On the camera here, if I reduce the move speed a lot, it if I get up, like it might not even like I think that actually looks good. Where, ooh, oh, I finally hit the top of the AABV. Am I at 100? Yeah, 150. Um, yeah, so it goes up. Oh, technically this is not what I want, right? It'll go up to 150. Oh, I guess extend is in both directions. I meant 50-50. But let's increase it. Yeah. Does that make it so I won't go back down? Oh, that I remember. The point of that was so it wouldn't follow you if you fell off, which it looks like it did. Cool. Um, yeah, I remember that now. I don't know, maybe I can just add that in really quick, see if it really, because I gotta call tonight soon, but I don't think that would be too much. I know exactly what I need to do. Let's try. I mean, are those famous last words? I know it won't be that hard. It won't be that complicated. I know exactly what I need to do. Like what every programmer says about every feature they need to code, except the ones that are obviously difficult. Okay. So instead of moved her, blah blah blah, unclamped her, clamp magnitude. Okay. I guess what if I I basically just need like to split up. I think if I split up this rubber banding into different components, like even just if I make it a vector, well, no, vector 2 would, if I like just stumbled upon it a week from now, I would assume I meant X and Y. So let's try, let's make it a separate thing. So if I have anything else that's using this, I don't mess it up and I have to fix it. I guess I could do vector 2 to mean rubber banding scale Y. Just put posneg with the default of being 1. And then if my movedir.y is greater than 0, actually I can do I can say float rubber banding equals movedir.y greater than 0, then rubber banding times m rubber banding scale y dot x. Woof. Otherwise dot y. And then multiply by that. Well, I feel like I gotta make an X. Even though I'm not planning on using it right now, I gotta also make an X or it's not gonna make sense. because then it would, this rubber band, if I didn't split this up, then having Y rubber banding would like uniformly affect the vector here, um, which would, if you care about horizontal rubber banding, it would be affected by vertical distance in a way that doesn't make any sense. Okay. So we componentize and scale our rubber banding now. I can just multiply vector 2's, right? And it does x times x. Well, isn't that just what, that's not what dot product is it? Yeah, it's just, well, dot product, it's how you get. All right, it's fine. We'll do vector 2 rubber banding equals, we'll do rubber banding vector. Well, let's just be implied. Um, rubber banding x times move x, and then the other one is the y's. And potentially useful, this could also, if for some reason you wanted rubber banding in only one direction, you could set the scale to 0. In this case, the X position is frozen, so it doesn't come in, but it adds a capability. All right. Does that fix our problem? Let's find out. So we can reduce our speed back to like something that looked nicer. But then we can apply a significant like sort of rubber banding scale and maybe even reduce. So it'll be half. Yeah, the intent there would be it'll be half of the sort of set value in upwards, and it'll be 5 times the set value in the downwards direction, which I think will look really bad, but we'll see. Feel a little too slippery. I feel like, I don't know if my feet are slippery or I need like the platforms to have friction. Let's do vertical stuff here. We can get some parallax that looks nice. Maybe like dynamically set some stuff to indicate your progress. I don't know if we like going to snowy mountains or something. But yeah, anyway, plunge. Ah, yes. I think that, I mean, it didn't have our dude all the way in frame, but like his head was in frame where it wasn't before, and it did seem like it was applying it. We can double it. Let's see if that does anything. Yeah, more of the head is in, and like it did jump a bit there, but yeah, we're falling pretty hard. Maybe, all right, I guess so we save our changes. Put it like 8. We can give the player more velocity cap as well. I don't think that's coming in. Remember the jump force, what was represented at 10? So even 20 is still like pretty high. 15 maybe. And even though it'll give us a little bit less smoothness, we'll add just a tiny bit more speed to the camera. And I'm hoping that'll be enough so where it's sort of smooth up, but also can keep the player visibly in it if it falls quickly down, if the player falls down quickly. All right, let's take the plunge. Ah, perfect. Beautiful stuff. And that's a good thing to check as well. We got the thing to catch us right there. But you can also check an extreme example of sort of like the corrective jump velocity where it increased the force. Let's take the plunge again, keeping our guy in. Ah, yeah, but we still have a meaningful like puff upwards from our double jump. Great stuff. All right, so I guess wrapping it up here as a summary. We added this sort of vertical platform spawning deal where in the future I think I want to have like a big growing vine. Here I can actually, I'll have my line draw again while I'm just jumping up for fun. Here. I want this, if I remember correctly, this looks nicer at like half. So longer term vision here is we have our sort of line growing in the background here. And more elegantly than just appearing like this, we would have offshoots from our line forming these platforms as you go up. And then rather than being sort of, just these basic white boxes, we can make collections of actual like meaningful platform prefabs where they can have children, like for example, the plant spawn boxes from last week. Like we could have a platform that spawns trees, a platform that spawns flowers. Eventually, if we're doing like an icy vibe, we can do slippery. But yeah, if we just get like I don't know, 10 to 20 platforms, I think, of increasing complexity and difficulty, mix them up as you go up, and some stuff to collect, I think, will be important too. Like maybe coins or something. You can maybe get upgrades. I think it might be interesting to have it where that sort of tutorial period I talked about at the beginning before like your vine starts growing here. We hit the top of the camera, unfortunate. But the beginning period before the vine starts growing, you can maybe get like a first upgrade that would always be double jump, and then you could that actually even be kind of like a nice little thing if you have it growing a few seconds before, then give the first upgrade, which is double jump, and now you can actually start climbing up the thing. You know, it even though it's just like a micro little interaction, it does give you that sort of thing there where oh, I see a thing I can't do, and like once I gain the ability to do it, I'm like slightly more excited to do it because I couldn't do it before. Like I'm happier to get double jump because I see that platform up there that's been like sort of taunting me out of reach this whole time. Or for like not this whole time, probably for like a 30-second period. While we're just like introducing the basic mechanics. And then once you got coins, maybe we can put shop guys up there. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like we made good progress today. We got platform spawning, double jump, and some camera follow tweaks that I think got the camera follow to a pretty good point, even handling the kind of annoying case of up being typically much slower than down. Yeah, so I think I'm not sure exactly what'll be the next like bucket of features. I think I might maybe make these platforms more complicated. That might be the direction we go next, but I'm not 100% sure. I do know though that I will be continuing on with more development on this project next Wednesday around the same time, maybe like 6:30 Pacific or so. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep that up for at least a couple months until for the entirety of this project for sure. I won't necessarily do all my development on stream, but I will do a session of streaming development of this game at least once a week. And next time will be next Wednesday. So if you are you tuned in, great, thanks. Or if you're watching this VOD, great. Um, Follow me on social media or whatever platform you saw this video on. And check out this game on my itch.io page. You can see I'm actively doing it. So if you leave feedback on itch or Newgrounds for this game, it'll definitely I'll definitely read it and I'll consider it as I'm actively making changes. I think the link is just in the bottom right hand corner right there. Yeah, it's a pretty old version of the game from when it was originally a game jam. Um, I should probably upload like an incremental version at some point, so the feedback is more current and meaningful. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me for today. I'll be back next Wednesday around 6:30 Pacific.